Good morning, Duplin County. This is Curt Simpson. You are listening to Chamber Chat with the Wallace, Greater Wallace Chamber of Commerce. I always miss the greater, but it is a greater town. Hope you're having a great day this morning. In the studio this morning, we've got a great guest, Miss Yvonne Cano.
Hello.
How are you doing this morning?
Doing fine, thank you.
Good. Yvonne is the Business Relations Representative with the North Carolina Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Services, or VR, as you call it. That's a whole lot easier
to say.
Good deal. Well, it's so good to have you this morning.
Thank you.
Yvonne is also the newest member of the Wallace Chamber Board of Directors, and we're really glad to have her here. You haven't been here in the county for very long.
I haven't. I moved here September 14, so I've been here a whole year and a half.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm delighted to be here.
Good deal. And you came here from where?
Well, I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee. Tennessee native, lived there 32 years of my life. Mm-hmm. Then my parents retired after working full-time, and they moved to the mountains of western North Carolina. So I moved and lived and worked in Asheville, North Carolina for a couple of years. And then, as it happens in corporate life, my position was eliminated.
Gotcha.
And so I knew I wanted to stay in North Carolina. I wanted to stay close to my folks. And at my dad's urging, he said, "Why don't you look for a job at the state?" And I thought, well, I worked 20 years in the HR industry and the private sector, and I thought, I hadn't thought about that. So Here I am. The rest is history. So,
okay, very good. And found yourself with vocational rehab.
I did.
Good deal. I would imagine that's a pretty rewarding job.
It really is. Vocational rehabilitation, just in a nutshell, is we're a federally funded, state-run agency.
Okay.
And so we're part of the Department of Health and Human Services, and literally what we do is we assist individuals who have disabilities, and it can be varying levels. It can be, obviously, a disability is if you think of somebody in a wheelchair that needs needs to walk with special assistance, those kinds of things. But a disability is also someone who has, it can be a chronic illness that you don't see. So it could be schizophrenia, it could be Crohn's disease, it could be TBI, it could be alcohol or substance abuse, it could be diabetes, it could be a seizure disorder, a heart disease. So it's any kind of chronic affect that someone has that could, prevent them from finding work. It could be a barrier to employment.
Gotcha.
And so when we work with individuals, we literally help them obtain and maintain employment so that they can be a productive member of society. Everything we do is towards the ultimate goal of getting them a job and getting them to work. And the individuals that we work with really do want to go to work. They just find that they need assistance in helping them go back to work. Sure.
Now, and your position with VR is business relations.
Correct.
So one thing I've learned about Yvonne, I haven't known her that long, but she's never met a stranger. And
this is true.
She can strike up a conversation with anybody. So I'm sure that really helps. In business relations, you're going out and doing what?
I'm going out into the community, and I have traveled every corner of Duplin County and sometimes into the outskirts of into the neighboring counties.
Okay.
And I reach out to businesses, and I the first year I was here, I spent some time getting to know the businesses, getting to know what they do on a daily basis. Just telling them about what my role is with vocational VR, with vocational rehabilitation or VR, and just really kind of talking about how we can help provide them services, how we can help them find great staff, and everything that we do for employers is absolutely free of charge. So think of us as a staffing agency that's not really a staffing agency in terms of producing mass numbers of people for employers, but rather finding them the right person for their job. Employers can and businesses can be eligible for tax incentives, such as the Workforce Opportunity Tax Credit. We provide internships and on-the-job training. And as far as internships are concerned, and on-the-job training, it's actually an employer reimbursement program. So what we would do is we would reimburse them a portion of a new employee's training dollars that they would spend. So.
Gotcha. Very good, very good. I was just handed a note here. We actually skipped a little something we were supposed to say. This is WEGG Rose Hill Surge Radio. And you are listening to Chamber Chat. So if you're just tuning in, just wanted to get that in there. I guess that's a legal requirement. So thanks for listening. And you can also listen to us online if you haven't ever tried that before. Go to surgeradio.org and you can listen to us streaming. So you've got family in other parts of the state and country, I guess. So they might be listening to us streaming as well.
I hope so.
And if they aren't, then they can watch us on YouTube.
Yes, they can. So just want to take the opportunity to say good morning to all my Duplin County friends and family, and hope y'all have a great weekend.
Good deal. Good deal. So, and talking about that, one thing we like to do here is not only just find out about the business and or find out what you do, but find out a little about you. So you live in Kenansville.
I do live and work in Kenansville, yes.
Okay. And very active in the community.
Very. Very. I'm actually, for those of you who might be interested in finding out more about vocational rehabilitation and the services that we could offer you, you can certainly call our office at 910-296-0049. Our offices are located right behind what used to be called the unemployment office. And it's now called the NC Works Career Center for Duplin County. So that is also a mouthful. But so most people still know it affectionately as the unemployment office. And so we're right behind them.
Gotcha.
We share a parking lot, and we're also a very strong partner with them.
I would imagine.
So we're here to help. And I think anyone who thinks that they might need some assistance is welcome to call us.
Gotcha.
But what were we talking about? I think I got off track.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. We're going to go all over the track here, so don't even worry about that. We just have a good time. So your clients, do they seek you out? Are they referred to you? How does that work?
Actually, both. We have clients or prospective clients that will call us just because maybe they have a friend or family member who's gone through Voc Rehab before. Another one of our partner agencies is medical providers, mental health providers, the Department of Social Services. So we get referrals really from all over the county. From all sources. We even work with school children. I think the youngest age we start working with is 16. So we work with all of the Duplin County school system.
Wow.
We're at all the high schools right now. And so that's where our referrals come from. And in terms of getting them into VR to start working on going to work, what we have to do, everything we do is a process. So we do an initial application, and then from that initial application, when they meet with a counselor, then we have to obtain eligibility documentation, and usually that is related to their disability. And once we approve them for services, then the counselor would work with them and develop a plan for them to go to work. And sometimes these individuals are referred to me, and sometimes they're referred to community rehabilitation partners. And those are the individuals who literally drive them to job interviews, and they help them also look for jobs. But what I do in my role when clients are referred to me is I do everything from resume preparation. I help them get ready for interviews. I coach them on, let's say someone has been let go from a position, and I teach them how to, really answer the questions truthfully, but also try and talk about, how they're moving forward. So say, for example, somebody, not everybody has a perfect background.
Sure.
So if you've got somebody that has made some mistakes in their life, but they have learned from those mistakes, I teach them how to talk about, okay, yes, I made a mistake, but this is how I paid for it, and this is how I'm moving forward. And I think that's really helped them build up their confidence and help them also move forward.
Gotcha.
And employers, I think, that see that, it's really made a difference.
Yeah. I was going to ask, I mean, you say that there are some tax incentives or something like that for working with you guys, but are there other benefits to an employer for choosing someone out of the VR program? Or?
Absolutely. I said earlier that some employers can think of us as a staffing agency, but not really in the masses.
Mm-hmm.
What we do after I place somebody in a position, I then can follow that employee for 90 days to make sure that they are successfully meeting their employment requirements. Mm-hmm. And that also means that I can work with employers to identify any issues that may or may not come up. So let's say, for example, it's a person who has returned to work. It's a different industry for them, and maybe they're taking a little bit longer to learn the position. So the employer can call me. It's, again, all free. It's at no cost to the employer. The employer can call me, and we can talk about what's going on with that particular employee. I can coach the employer and I can coach the employee, whether that's together, all three of us, or it's over the phone individually. And it's really a way to help save that employee for the employer, because as we know in business, the bottom line is to make sure that we're keeping our costs down.
Sure.
And it's very expensive to hire a staff member, so we want to do everything we can to help save that resource. And I'm proud to say that so far this year, my successes have resulted in really high percentages of closures as far as successful employment. So
they get past that kind of 90-day probationary period.
Yes,
and
exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Can you talk about, obviously you probably wouldn't mention names, but can you talk about some success stories? Maybe somebody who seem to, and I am putting you on the spot there.
It's okay. I'm a singer. I'm used to being put on the spot. We are, as I said, we're a federally funded, state-run agency, and because we're part of the Department of Health and Human Services, we are covered under HIPAA. Okay. So that means that everything that we do is we have to uphold the law and make sure that we don't divulge confidential information, because that would be a very bad thing.
Absolutely.
But as far as success stories, I think I've worked with individuals who they come from different backgrounds. I've worked with individuals who maybe have a physical impairment or an emotional or mental impairment. Mm-hmm. And I've been able to help them identify what their skill sets are and have taught them how to talk about themselves in a way that an employer can see value in that and help them really be a good employee. I think probably maybe a better example for me to say would be some employers that we've worked with where we've had some great success. Certainly House of Rayford.
I was going to ask
a big
if you
one.
could talk about the individual companies.
House of Rayford is
okay.
a big one. I work very, very closely with them. Guilford East, work very closely with them. With Vidin Duplin Medical Center, Duplin County Transportation.
Gotcha.
Have referred some great folks out there. My goodness, there's so many. Murphy Family Ventures here in Wallace. Walmart.
So pretty much all the big employers.
Yeah, I mean everywhere, in every corner of the county, I've really begun to build and have built some strong relationships. And my whole thing when I'm talking to employers is I really want to make sure that I get them a good person that's going to be a good fit for them, not just a body. Sure. And I know that employers really want to make sure that they're getting the right person too. So if we can work together and have that honest dialogue, I think that's what I really like the most about my job, is that I'm able to have honest, respectful dialogue on both sides, with my clients and with employers. And I think that's really important. Sorry, I think that was me banging on the table. It's my jewelry. So I think that's really what's helped our success in this county, and I'm really, really grateful for that.
Gotcha. Well, and I would imagine, just looking at it from a business owner's perspective, that you might look at your clientele and say, I don't know if I want to go through the trouble of that. It might be too much work or something like that. So you have to be honest about that. You can't just say this is going to be necessarily easy all the time, I would think.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we can't discuss what that client's disability is. Really, what I do with the business is I talk about their abilities, and if someone has a less than perfect criminal background, it is public information, so we can we can say to the employer, I want you to know ahead of time, and we do have the client's permission to talk about that. That we can say, if you run their background checks, here's what you're going to find, but here's how they have overcome that, and here's what, and because of them participating in our program, I can talk to the employer about, this client has been on time for every appointment that they've had with me since I began working with them X number of months ago, or X number of weeks ago. They have participated in an employer marketing skills class that I teach. They respond to my phone calls timely, and those are the things that when I work with clients, I tell my clients, look, think of me as a representative of an employer. As a representative of a business, and if you follow my directions and you're on time and you're this and that, then I can advocate for you to that employer, and employers see value in that. They, if they say, hey, this person has been on time for every appointment you've had with this, and actually I've had several clients that are very, very good about that. So. And that's important.
Absolutely. And your background before you came here was in human resources for quite a while.
Yes, a professional recruiter for 21 years.
Gotcha. So you know what people are looking for.
Absolutely. And I think that too has helped me in my role here, is when I'm talking to employers, I can talk about, I always start by talking about what my background has been and how I came into the role, and I think that lends itself, it sort of builds an immediate trust there, because they know I understand business and their requirements and what they're looking for. And when I work with clients, I make sure that they can function independently in the role, and that they can, that they have to at least meet the essential functions of the job.
Sure. Gotcha. Good deal. So getting back to you a little bit, you're a Tennessee girl.
I am native Nashville, Tennessee.
All right, Music City, and
yes.
Also somewhat into music yourself.
I am, yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
Talk about myself as a singer? Or
Okay, I think that's cool. I love this.
Thank you. This is something that a lot of my coworkers and colleagues were surprised to find out. They, obviously they knew I'm shy, but they were surprised to find out that I am very active in singing and musical theater. I've been singing and performing for since I was 6. I'm not going to say how many years that is, but since I was 6 years of age, and have always been involved in. I've been professionally trained by some of the best music teachers in the country through high school and college, and after college, and participated in some great musical theater. Actually, we did The King and I. When I lived in Nashville, we did The King and I. We did all the Nonsense musicals, so I played some principal parts in those shows. Currently, I'm involved with the Simpson Community Theater in Clinton, North Carolina. Hey, Angie. We just recently closed a musical that I was in called Little Women, the musical, which was on Broadway for many, many, many years. Dr. Linda Carr recently directed that musical, and I had the honor and privilege of playing Marmee. For those of you who know your literature, Louisa May Alcott wrote a book called Little Women.
Right.
And it's about 4 sisters and their mom. Joe, Meg, Joe, Amy, and Beth, and then the mother. And it's really a story about the 4 girls' lives. And I had the great blessing of playing the mother, and the musical featured some gorgeous, gorgeous music, and I'm truly honored that Dr. Carr asked me to play that role, and wouldn't trade being on the stage for anything. They always say your passion is, if you had your dream job, what would that be? And mine has always been to be on Broadway. So if I ever had the opportunity, I'd definitely do it. But I love being involved with community theater, and am excited to be a part of the Simpson Community Theater family. We're getting ready to do Cats. I believe Cats is coming in June. So I imagine we'll have auditions either March or April. So
Gotcha.
You'll have to look out for that.
Yeah. Well, that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I just, when I was living in Nashville, I think one of the great things I had the privilege to do was direct a children's musical for the very first time, and it was a Christmas musical called A Lamb's Tale, and I just really had a great time. I loved working with all those little kids. I think my youngest star was 2, and my oldest was 11 or 12, so, I've had the opportunity to work with all ages and act and sing with all ages and just really have a great time. So.
Gotcha. Well, cool. Well, and as she said, she is not shy, and I just ran into Yvonne at the Chamber After Hours on Thursday night, and I was talking with someone else about being on the radio, and she said, "Oh, I'll do it." So I thought, awesome, this is good. So you also get a little bit of a perspective into how much preparation we put into this show, because Thursday night I'm thinking about who's going to be on my Saturday morning show. So
I'm glad to fill in.
Absolutely. Good deal. Well, what else can you tell us about VR this morning?
Well, I think what I want to do is just kind of talk a little bit about our organization and the process and kind of what that involves. And, every company, every business can relate to this. You have to have a mission statement. So Vocational Rehabilitation's mission statement is to promote employment and independence for people with disabilities through customer partnership and community leadership. And I think what those latter two things mean is where we work with employers and businesses around the community and make sure that we are hiring quality individuals. Vocational rehabilitation, and actually this is something that I did not know, was started back in the 1920s, and here in North Carolina we have a vocational rehabilitation office in just about all of our 100 counties in the state. And so our office in Kenansville serves all of Duplin County. So again, we encourage anyone who is looking for a job that may have a disability or what we call an impairment or impediment to employment. Call our offices again, 910-296-0049 to make an appointment, and you'll come in and see a counselor. So what happens when you come in to meet with a counselor is we have to do an application. And so to give you an example of individuals who might be eligible for our services is someone who has, like I said, a physical, mental, learning impairment. They have an emotional impairment. Our clients are as young as 16 years of age. They as a result of that impairment, they might have some challenges going to work or finding a job, and so they come to us to help them. And like I said, everything that we do is with an intention of helping them get back to work. And so we can, help them with filling out applications, and we can help them with learning how to talk about themselves in a positive way, those kinds of things. So you come in and you meet with a counselor and you fill out an application. By law, we have 60 days to determine your eligibility for services, and the way we do that is we ask for diagnostic information that we can review and make sure that you are eligible for services. And once we approve you based on that, then we will meet with that client and determine, okay, what's our next step? Sometimes they want training. Let's say they want to go to truck driving school, or let's say they want to go to CNA training, or they want to they want to become a barber or something like that. Mm-hmm. We will do what's called a vocational evaluation. Mm-hmm. And essentially what that does is it's a process of asking questions that just determines how successful they could be. We want to make sure that at the end of the day they're going to be successful in their job, and so if by participating in this evaluation, if let's say that they may not have the comprehension or math skills or things like that, those are the things that these vocational evaluations test for. Gotcha. And it's obviously more technical and complicated than that, but in shortened form, that is the best way that I explain that.
Gotcha. So you're essentially seeing what kind of strengths they have, where maybe there are some weaknesses or something, and whether you can overcome those weaknesses.
Correct. That's correct.
Or if that's not realistic.
That's correct.
Okay.
We might have somebody who, and you never want to squash someone's dreams, but sure, the vocational evaluation helps us determine realistically, is this something that they can successfully complete, or is it really going to be a challenge for them?
Right. I'll probably never be an NBA player. Probably.
Yes, and I will
at
never
5'7".
Yeah, and I will never be an engineer. So
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And then based on the outcome of that, like I said, not everybody gets a vocational evaluation, but it depends on what service they are really ultimately wanting. And then once that is determined and they're determined ready to go to work, we develop what's called an individual plan for employment. Now, to talk about the different types of evaluations, vocational evaluation is one way that they do that. One way that our clients can be evaluated. They can be evaluated through further medical testing. They can be evaluated through psychological tests, evaluations that are done through our community rehab partner programs, and then once we develop them for an individual plan for employment, we then see what our next steps need to be. So basically, by signing this plan for employment, the client is saying, okay, I know what services I'm going to be provided through Voc Rehab. I know what kind of job I want, that kind of thing. And then we determine where they need to go from there. Vocational Rehabilitation, or VR, as we call it, we have core services. We have 5 core services. So we offer physical and mental restoration, vocational counseling and guidance, training, rehabilitation technology, which is like your assistive technology. I think you saw that at a chamber meeting not too long ago.
And I wanted to talk with you about that a little bit. If you wanted to go on, you can, but
yeah, I was just going to say our 5th core service is, of course, employment services, which we spent some time talking about. So
Gotcha. So the assistive devices, what sort of things are we looking at there? And it might even be hard to explain it just on the radio. I don't know, but
the North Carolina Assistive Technology Division is based out of a couple different cities in North Carolina. The closest one to us is out of Wilmington. And essentially what they do is, actually I have some notes here. There are different types of devices. It can be rehabilitation engineering. So let's say that somebody needs a ramp for their house, or someone needs I don't know, let's say they need a room reconfigured, or they need a counter lowered, or something like that. I'm not sure that that's exactly correct, but we have an engineer who can come in and evaluate a client's living area or locale or wherever they're at, and determine what VR may be able to do to help them adapt their surroundings so that they can be successful in life or successful in their job. We have a farmer that we helped, so that is certainly a possibility.
Yeah.
Assistive technology devices, it can be a device that helps you write. We have, most of us are used to holding a pen. And so an assistive device might be someone who maybe is paraplegic and they need assistance with a writing device. And so that would be an example of one. An example could be a phone with larger buttons because someone is visually impaired. Or it can be someone who is hearing impaired and we simply help them pay for a device that blinks that will let them know either the doorbell's ringing or a phone is ringing or something like that. If you think of deaf and hard of hearing services, an example would be the communicative devices, assistance with teleprompter relay or TDD. I'm sorry, I don't know the technical terms for these. But let's say you called someone at their home and you go through an interface and it's someone who is typing in to talk to you what you're needing to say to this person who can't hear. So things like that. Those are some examples. Gotcha.
Okay, well that's really neat, and that was something I had never thought of. You guys did bring out some of these little different devices and things at a chamber meeting not too long ago, and some of them were simple but pretty ingenious too.
Yes. I wish I could remember specifically what they all were. We had an open house back in October, and we had someone come from our Greenville office who came and brought several different examples, and they were the hit of the day. They really educated our community about the different things that we can do to help people.
Gotcha. Now, you've been members, when you came in, you were actually a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Or VR was a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
That is correct. VR is a member of the Greater Wallace Chamber of Commerce.
Gotcha. Are you members of other chambers as well? Is that something that you
we
think
are
is
not.
important?
We, as a state agency, we want to be good resources, good stewards of our resources.
Sure.
And we are right now only a member of one Chamber of Commerce, but we work.
It's the best one.
It is.
Clearly,
it's the best. We chose the best one to belong to.
That's right.
But we work very closely with members of the other chamber, John Weston with the Beulahville Chamber, and
good folks over there. That's where I grew up, in Beulahville.
Oh,
so
great!
John
And Dennis Riley with Warsaw, and Woody Brinson with the Duplin-Kenansville Chamber of Commerce. Really, our role is to be. We're Switzerland. We are. We're neutral,
Sure.
and we're fair to everyone. So.
Absolutely. But I would think that it is important to be members of the chamber to get to know business owners and to have that good relationship with the business community.
It is, and like I said, in my previous life where I was working in the corporate sector, private sector, I was members of various chambers of commerce in Nashville, Tennessee. I was a member of the Williamson County Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Metro Nashville-Davidson County Chamber of Commerce. I have, been involved with volunteer organizations and not-for-profits and those kinds of things. So I think I've always had a very strong belief in getting involved in the community. I think as a resident of the community, I think we have a civic duty to, promote our community and continue to make sure that we thrive and be successful. And I think, and that's my own personal opinion, not a VR opinion. I think, working with VR, my philosophy is if someone really wants to work, then I'm going to do everything in my power to help make that happen. And I think my clients who've been successful in their jobs will say that that's the case. So.
Very good. Well, I've been given a note once again. It is just about 1:15, and it's time to go to commercial, so I'll let you know with that.
If you're looking to improve the decor of your home and make it a little more cozy,
you had 5 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
The finest in custom built
Close enough.
exterior and enjoy a custom built swing bathroom, living room, dining room and kitchen.
How many
Professionals provide free
commercials do we have?
consultation and expert installation using quality hardwood construction, master craftsmanship, and a durable
7 in the
finish.
west.
Visit their
Oh, wow.
state-of-the-art manufacturing facility in Rose Hill online at
You know the sliders there. Because this is 2 and that's 1.
Shutterproduction@immortmail.com.
We only have one commercial.
In 2016, find
Okay.
your essence style
And we're doing it now.
Lily Style Shop.
So I'm gonna stop it after the weather right.
Lily Style Shop has designer suits, shoes.
So how many minutes do we have?
Giovanni and Sarah
Basically.
Vina. Find stylish matching
How many minutes are we?
and accessories.
You got about-
And
Let me show you how to check
available.
these.
Stop by and find your essence
Hold on,
style
shift.
and grace at
Click the
Lily
next
Style
one.
Shop, 116 South
3
Railroad
minutes,
Street.
33
Wallace,
seconds.
Open 10 to
Gotcha.
5 Tuesday through Friday and 10 to 2
333.
on Saturday.
It's not bad.
Actually, it's on.
When it comes to commercial vehicles, it's time to drill down to the details. If you're not driving the new spreader worker from Mercedes-Benz, your van just isn't cutting.
She was at
The
she
spreader
asked
worker
you
takes
if you were
payload up
interested
a
in
notch,
emceeing on
carrying up to
stage.
3,512
Yes.
pounds. Its cargo volume is cranked up too,
Yes.
with over 300 cubic feet of space. When it comes to
Who's
safety,
that one?
it's unmatched.
Yeah, she was like,
but it's
who
the
are you?
price
I was
that'll
like, I'm gonna
really
make
hammer it
this.
home. The new spreader
Right,
worker
she
starts
was
at
like,
just $32,495. It also has a service interval of up to 20,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class according to ALG. Put that in your pipe and weld it. Huge capacity, small price, starting at just $32,495. The all-new spreader worker,
That's what I'm
starting
talking
at
about.
only $32,495. Mercedes-Benz, vans.
So are we recording
Birthday.
what's going on in the studio right now, or? Okay.
Yes. And recording you asking me that question.
That's very good. Yes, yes.
Ready to get out and explore the
coastal cities. Sick of cold weather. Yeah.
It's like 40
Complain about the
seconds.
rain, but I am sick of the rain.
What's that?
Looks like 40 seconds, 40, 35.
Assisting them in protecting their
No,
rights
no,
and
you gotta
receiving justice.
select
Now I want to use my 30 years of experience
I mean,
and serve
till the
you
commercial.
Oh, yeah, I guess that is right, yeah.
to
1 minute and
ensure
40
justice,
seconds.
A minute 40,
balanced
okay,
knowledge,
gotcha.
fairness, and
You gotta uncheck automate
experience.
during the
Anita
weather.
R. Powers for District Court Judge on March 15,
Gotcha, boss.
2016. To learn more about me and my campaign, visit my website at
You understand how good that water was?
AnitaRPowers4Judge.com.
Oh, yeah?
The proceeding was paid for by the committee to elect Anita R. Powers, District Court Judge. Billy's Country Sausage, Billy's Country Hams, and Billy's Barbecue. As Billy says, it just don't get no better than that. Remember,
So
Billy
we're
makes
wrapping
his
it up.
own
I'll just
country
kind of
sausage,
motion to you,
all
I guess, that
barbecue
we're
sauces,
wrapping it
and
up. You
Billy's
go to
Country Hams
music.
are the
Yes.
best.
We got a minute,
Just like your
20
daddies and your granddaddies, your mamas and your grandmamas.
Your mamas
The
and your
old-fashioned
grandmamas.
Country way. Billy's
So start playing that song when they're done.
mom and pop country.
Or actually, just let that song start playing. And then let the song start playing as instrumental. And once you get about like 15 seconds in, fade it low, turn the mics on, and then let it play for another 15, 30 seconds. and then fade it out.
Is that my Herb Alpert?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I missed my Herb Alpert to begin with.
Yeah. She was supposed
I
to
didn't
wait
know what
for me
to
to
do.
check in, but she didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't know, I'm sorry.
that's okay. That's okay.
I'm
Everybody's
ruining
learning here.
everything. I'm always the one to mess stuff up around here.
You're good.
Alright, we got 45 seconds.
Southeastern Outdoor Products, building legacies that last.
Did you know that Duplin County Transportation will give you a ride
Who is that?
Who that is?
That is a sexy voice there.
I was gonna say, isn't that you?
It is.
The dumb
They'll
automated.
take you to a medical appointment to
You're
work.
waiting
I heard that the other day, but that sounds like
You're that
Curt.
commercial, that's
You want me to do a commercial for you?
Really?
They are the transportation
Yeah.
service for all
I'd be happy to.
human services agencies, and they can handle your special needs as well. Services are available from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. All you need is 48 hours notice and a phone.
If,
Duplin
you know, if
County
this real estate thing
Transportation,
doesn't pan,
call to
this
schedule
real
your
estate
next
thing
trip
doesn't
today.
pan out.
910-296-2333.
Exactly. I'm gonna cut a commercial every 6 months. Start dealing.
Alright, 30 seconds.
Alright.
Today will be a full day of sunshine. The high will be 49. It'll be clear tonight. The low will be 32. Sunday.
So let the song play for like 10, 15
seconds.
Let the song just play a little bit for like 10 or 15 seconds or less.
And then fade it out.
Fade it low and let it play in the background for about 30 and then fade it out.
Turn the mics on though.
And Wednesday.
Yeah, turn the mics on when you have it low.
Strong thunderstorm, high 66. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Sally Sherman on Surge 100.
There's my
Is that
music.
Chuck Mangione or Herb Albert?
That is Herb Albert.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
grew up
Rise.
with great jazz singers, yeah.
From about 1980 or something.
Okay, I'm
like
ready?
that. Yeah. I thought we were live the whole time.
I know.
Little Herb Albert for
Yeah,
your
we're
Saturday
jamming out to
morning.
Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love them. Grew up on them.
That's right.
I grew up listening to that music.
There you go. I love some jazz, so I've done everything I can to get jazz on Surge here. So,
All right.
you are listening to Chamber Chat. My name is Curt Simpson. My guest this morning is Yvonne Cano, who is with Vocational Rehab in Kenansville. State agency, but she is right over there in the county seat of Kenansville. It's so good to have you this morning.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, beautiful day this weekend. I think we're going to be getting up to about 70 degrees or so on Monday.
Yeah, we're just
So,
listening to that weather
I'm just-
forecast.
Absolutely, I'm sick of winter. People probably sick of hearing me complain about it. But
I'm ready for spring.
Good deal. Well, you are listening to Chamber Chat. We've got a couple of events coming up here real soon that I hope people will put on their calendars. Yvonne and I were both at the Chamber After Hours, which was over at the Holiday Inn Express last Thursday night, and that's actually how she came to be in here in the studio this morning. That was a nice event. They've done some good things with the hotel over there, done a nice renovation. It looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got another After Hours coming up here real soon. That is March 10th at the Bryan Center, and that is at 5:30 p.m. I think they'll be feeding us too, so that's
All right.
that sounds
There's
good.
some
So-
great ladies over there. Rhonda Lanier and who's the new administrator? I'm sorry to say. I've forgotten the lovely lady's name. She's
I hope
wonderful.
to
They're
get
all
her on here
wonderful.
sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll need to. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Great ladies.
Good. Okay. These notes. We're passing notes here in the studio. And Amber is telling me not to say anything about that on the air, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. Also coming up, and this is a little bit further away. That's April 16th. We have our quarter auction. Did you go to the quarter auction last fall?
Actually, yes, I helped volunteer. That was my very first time ever participating in one.
That was fun.
It was really a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah.
So that will be at 6 p.m. on April 16th. We're actually going to open up the doors about 5:45 so people can come in and see the items that are going to be up for auction. But it will be at the Wallace Women's Club, and yours truly will be behind the mic and just goofing around and hopefully raising some money for the chamber and scholarship fund, that sort of thing. So should be a lot of fun. So you are here with Vocational Rehab. Tell us how somebody could get in touch with you if they would like to do that.
Well, again, VR specializes in helping individuals who have varying levels of disabilities go to work or go back to work. Mm-hmm. And so if you are an individual who thinks that you have a disability or what we call an impairment or impediment to employment, certainly call our office at area code 910-296-0049. And you will speak with any one of the 6 of us that are in the office, and we'll be glad to take your referral. And you can do a self-referral. You can be referred to us through one of the many agencies that we work for, whether it's social services, a mental health provider, a medical provider, Duplin County school system. The youngest we work with is age 16. And so what we'll do is we'll schedule you an appointment to come in and see one of our 3 counselors. And determine your eligibility for services. So if you have been trying to look for a job and are having a little bit of trouble finding a job or finding and keeping a job, come and call our office and see if there's a way that we can assist you if you have a disability.
Very good. Now, you mentioned earlier some different types of training and things, so maybe somebody wanted to be a barber or something. Do you work with like James Sprunt right across the street there?
We sure do. They're actually one of our partner organizations. We've had several individuals who have wanted to go through CNA training, so we work with Tammy Sessoms over at James Brunt, and work with her. If we have someone who is eligible for services and they're eligible for what we call cost services, then we might be able to help them pay for that training.
Oh, okay.
So that is one way that we could possibly help someone.
Gotcha. Well, just anything to get folks out and being productive in the community is certainly a good
That is correct.
thing to do.
Yep.
Yeah. Great. Well, anything else that we have missed this morning that we need to talk about, or
I think we have talked about VR pretty thoroughly this morning.
Okay.
Again, just in a nutshell, anybody who feels that they have a disability, and because of that disability, they feel like they have an impediment to employment or a barrier to employment, certainly give our offices a call, and we'll be happy to talk with you and see if we can help you go back to work.
Very good, very good. Well, we will be getting this the video for this show up on our YouTube channel this week, and if you missed any of the show, then you can go back and watch a little bit more. You have been listening to Chamber Chat, and my name is Curt Simpson. My guest today has been Yvonne Cano with Vocational Rehab, and I hope everybody has a great Saturday. Thanks for listening to Surge. Awesome.
I really like that song.
Me too.